Alright, so this one right here is the bent knee calf raise machine, okay? All you're going to be doing is you're going to be focusing on hitting the soleus. The soleus is the outside of that calf that kind of gives you a sweep. Really sexy for women to have that when you guys have on your heels and all that other stuff, right? So what you're doing is you want to actually begin to change your feet position as we go into set after set after set. Now your very first week is only one set. So what we're going to decide to do is keep your toes forward, okay? When you're doing 2 sets, we're going to decide to do the first set with your toes forward, the next set, and I'll show you this on camera. So the first set will be with your toes forward, directly forward. The next set will be with your toes pointed outwards. And then the next set, set number 3, with your toes pigeon-toed or pointed in. And then the very final set, then you would go right back to where you started, which is your toes forward. Okay? Now, how we're going to do this? Very simple. We obviously come up, release the handlebar. This is the safety bar. And what you want to do is when you come down, you want to squeeze your tibia, okay? This is the muscle right here. You want to squeeze your tibia as hard as you can. So here it is. Full squeeze here. And then we want to relax and squeeze the tibia. Squeeze the tibia, squeeze the calf. Squeeze the tibia, squeeze the calf. Now you never want to lean back, and you really don't even want to support yourself by holding on to these bars. If anything, you want to lean into this and squeeze. You want to focus, squeeze up, slowly come down, squeeze the tibia, and then squeeze again, okay? Here, this is a little bit different of an exercise. Since this muscle, it works off of the slow twitch, what you're gonna do is about 15 all the way to 25 reps here. So this is a high repetition. If you can go beyond that, again, you don't have enough weight, or your weight is too light. Remember, these are 40-second sets. Same rules apply, 40 seconds in between these sets. Alright, Cyeon, so this is the supinated tricep press down. So essentially any movement in fitness, you want to kind of listen to how we phrase it or the words that we call it. Supination is when you supinate your wrist, okay? So it's this effect right here, okay? So it's supinated, but this is also a press down. The regular press down is just pressing your arms down. Now, when you have a supinated press down, obviously, you supinate the wrist and then you press down. This is better for women because you're working the long head of the tricep, okay? When you work the long head and the medial head, the lateral head, that's too much work. You get the horseshoe effect. Unless you're trying to step on stage and you want the horseshoe effect, don't even play with it, okay? So what we're doing is we're focusing on the long head of that tricep. So what it looks like is this. Your shoulders are down and back, your chest is up, nice and tight, right? From here, all you're gonna do is you're gonna come down, squeeze as hard as you possibly can, come up, squeeze the bicep. When you squeeze the bicep, it turns off the tricep. When you squeeze the tricep, it turns off the bicep. Okay? So we're fully shortening the muscle, which is here, and then we're fully lengthening the muscle, which is here, because we're trying to work the tricep. Again, I'll show you one more time. Okay? So again, we come down, bing, right here. That's the fully shortening of the tricep, okay? When we come here, bow, I'm squeezing my bicep. Now that's fully lengthening the tricep, okay? So you must squeeze your bicep, then squeeze your tricep. Squeeze bicep, squeeze tricep. Always keeping the wrist supinated the entire time. Again, the weight selection that we're choosing is 40 seconds. If you can go over, now you're starting to see the pattern. If you can go over 40 seconds, the weight was too light. If you cannot complete 40 seconds, the weight was too heavy, okay? Another thing I want to point out here is that my shoulders were down and back and my chest was up the entire time. If your chest comes down or your shoulders come up, that's bad. Anytime that you lengthen your lats, you're actually going to shut off the wrong muscles. You want to keep your lats down the entire time. So, all of that said, shoulders down and back, chest is up, boom, fully shorten the tricep, boom, fully lengthen the tricep. And again, we're just boom, boom, it's no rest. Now, remember, the eccentric movement is going to be 4 seconds. The concentric movement is 1 second. So I'll show you that again. Here's the concentric, we're gonna breathe out. Eccentric, 4 seconds, we're breathing in. Squeeze the bicep, squeeze the tricep. Boom, squeeze the bicep, squeeze the tricep. Boom, bing. So that's how we get it done, baby. Right. So the next one's going to be the plank. You can easily go and check one of these out in my videos. We got tons of them. But I'm just going to show you this just to condense this and put it on one video for you. So the plank is going to be 30 seconds. That is the minimum. If you can't hold it for 30 seconds, you have to keep dropping your knees and get back to it. Okay? So what this looks like is this. Elbows flat on the ground, forearms flat on the ground, fists flat on the ground. Bow, bow, right? From here, your core is tight. Then you take one leg back at a time and squeeze it as hard as you possibly can. Last thing that you're gonna squeeze is your butt, as tight as it will go. And you wanna make sure that you have a nice flat back, all the way from your spine, all the way down to your ankles. Is this a pretty flat line? All right. From here, you're just gonna hold it as long as you possibly can. Now, if your legs loosen, or your butt loosens, or your core loosens, you take the knee and you're done with that movement at the time. Now, if it's not 30 seconds yet, you get right back into it and you keep going. So that is how we do the plank. Alright, Cyeon, so the last thing that we're looking at is the bridge. Now for the bridge, the way that I like to do it, so you can hit the internal obliques, the transverse abdominals simultaneously, is we are going to make sure that we bridge right first, and then we're going to come into a plank and then go right into a bridge left. Okay? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to achieve 30 seconds each side. So it will look like this. You're just literally bridging your weight on one arm, okay? Now what we want to make sure of is that we always have our forearm or our fist facing the direction that you are. So you're not like this, your forearm and your fist are facing the direction you are, okay? Now if this is too hard for you, you can easily bring your legs back, your lower legs back, and then come up like this until you have the strength to come full surface, okay? Now as soon as your 30 seconds is up, we're gonna go into a plank, hold it for a second, and then move into the next bridge without dropping our hips to the ground. Boom. Now, once you have held both of those for 30 seconds or longer, then you're done. Okay? You always follow the amount of sets that you need. You always make sure the time under tension is correct for the exercise.